Have you ever walked away from a social gathering feeling strangely exhausted? Not physically tired, but mentally drained in a way that's hard to explain. Everyone else seems energized by conversations and laughter. But for you, the longer the interaction lasts, the heavier your mind feels. This experience is far more common than most people realize. Many people assume social exhaustion means someone is shy. Others believe it simply means a person dislikes people. But psychology reveals something far more complex. Feeling drained after socializing is often connected to how the brain processes stimulation. And for certain personalities, social environments can overwhelm that system. Human conversations require a surprising amount of mental energy. Your brain constantly reads facial expressions, tone, and body language. It evaluates what others mean, while also planning what you should say next. At the same time, it tries to maintain social harmony and avoid awkward moments. All of this happens in seconds without you even noticing. For some people, this mental activity is barely noticeable. Their brains move through conversations almost automatically. But for others, every interaction feels like intense mental processing. Their mind analyzes details others completely ignore. Over time, that constant analysis becomes exhausting. Psychologists often connect this experience to introversion. Introversion does not mean someone hates people or avoids relationships. Instead, it describes how someone gains or loses energy. Extroverts often recharge through social interaction. Introverts, however, usually recharge through solitude. When introverted individuals spend too long in stimulating environments, their mental battery slowly drains. Conversations, noise, and constant interaction create a steady stream of stimulation. Their brain absorbs all of it at once. Eventually, the mind begins to feel overloaded. This is when social fatigue appears. But introversion alone does not explain everything. Some socially outgoing people also feel drained after long interactions. They may enjoy conversations deeply, yet after hours of talking, they still feel mentally exhausted. This suggests another psychological factor is involved. One major factor is cognitive sensitivity. Certain people naturally process information more deeply than others. They notice subtle emotional signals and social cues. They sense tension, discomfort, or hidden feelings in a room. And constantly reading those signals requires mental energy. Imagine walking into a crowded room. Most people only notice the loud voices and general atmosphere, but highly perceptive individuals notice much more. They read the emotional tone of each conversation. Their brain absorbs dozens of details simultaneously. Over time, this heightened awareness becomes tiring. Their mind rarely turns off during social interaction. Even when they remain silent, their brain continues analyzing everything around them. The constant observation slowly consumes their mental resources. Eventually, they feel the need to step away. Another reason people feel drained after socializing is social performance pressure. Every conversation carries an invisible expectation. You must respond appropriately, appear interested, and maintain the flow of dialogue. Your brain constantly monitors whether you're saying the right thing. That pressure can quietly build fatigue. For individuals who naturally reflect before speaking, this pressure is even stronger. They carefully consider their words before responding. They want their thoughts to be meaningful or accurate. While others speak spontaneously, they process ideas internally. That mental pause requires additional energy. Small talk often intensifies this feeling of exhaustion. Surface-level conversations can feel repetitive and predictable. Questions about weather, work, or weekend plans follow familiar patterns. For people who prefer deeper discussions, this repetition becomes draining. Their mind longs for more meaningful engagement. Interestingly, these individuals may feel energized during deep conversations. When topics involve ideas, emotions, or personal experiences, their brain becomes engaged. The dialogue feels stimulating instead of tiring. The difference lies in the quality of the interaction. Depth often replaces fatigue with curiosity. Social fatigue also relates to emotional empathy. Some people absorb the emotions of others very strongly. When someone nearby feels anxious or upset, they sense it immediately. Their brain begins processing those emotions almost as if they were their own. This emotional mirroring can quietly drain mental energy. Empathetic individuals often become silent observers in groups. They watch conversations unfold instead of dominating them. Their attention moves between different emotional signals. They notice who feels included, ignored, or uncomfortable. This emotional awareness requires continuous mental effort. Another hidden factor is decision fatigue. Social interaction involves countless small decisions. Should you speak now or wait? Should you agree or challenge the idea? Each decision demands mental processing. Most people never consciously notice these decisions. Their brain handles them quickly in the background. But for analytical thinkers, each choice receives attention. They evaluate possibilities before responding. That mental evaluation consumes energy over time. Environmental stimulation also plays a major role. Loud music, crowded rooms, and constant movement increase sensory input. For highly sensitive individuals, this sensory load becomes overwhelming. Their brain struggles to filter out unnecessary noise. The result is mental exhaustion. This is why some people leave gatherings earlier than others. It's not because they dislike the company. Their brain simply reaches its limit faster. Stepping away allows their mind to recover. Silence becomes a form of mental restoration. Solitude acts like a psychological reset button. When alone, the brain finally slows its processing. There are no social signals to interpret, no expectations to meet or conversations to maintain. The mind can rest and recharge. Many people misunderstand this need for solitude. Friends might assume the person is antisocial. Others believe they are simply uninterested in relationships. But the truth is very different. Solitude often allows them to show up more fully later. After spending time alone, their mental energy gradually returns. Their thoughts become clearer and more organized. The emotional weight from earlier interactions fades. When they socialize again, they can engage more comfortably. Balance becomes the key to maintaining energy. Another psychological trait linked to social fatigue is introspection. People who reflect deeply on their experiences tend to replay conversations afterward. They analyze what was said and how others reacted. They wonder whether they communicated clearly. This mental replay extends the energy spent during interaction. Even after the conversation ends, their brain continues working. They review moments of silence or awkward pauses. They consider how different responses might have changed the interaction. This reflective thinking is valuable but mentally demanding. Over time, it contributes to social exhaustion. Despite these challenges, people who feel drained after socializing possess unique strengths. Their ability to observe subtle details often makes them excellent listeners. They pick up on emotions others miss. They create meaningful one-on-one connections. Their conversations tend to feel thoughtful and genuine. Because they value depth over quantity, their friendships often become very strong. They invest energy into fewer relationships, but those relationships grow deeper over time. Trust develops through careful listening and understanding. This quality often defines their social style. Interestingly, many creative thinkers share this same pattern. Writers, artists, and researchers frequently report social fatigue. Their minds naturally focus inward. Ideas and reflections require quiet space to develop. Crowded environments interrupt that inner process. Psychology suggests this inward focus enhances creativity. When the mind spends time in solitude, it forms new connections between ideas. Thoughts organize themselves without external noise. Insight often appears during these quiet moments. Social rest becomes a source of mental clarity. Ultimately, feeling drained after socializing is not a weakness. It simply reflects how different brains manage energy. Some recharge through people. Others recharge through quiet reflection. Understanding this difference allows individuals to respect their natural rhythm. Instead of forcing constant interaction, balance becomes essential. Shorter gatherings may feel more comfortable. Meaningful conversations replace endless small talk. Moments of solitude restore emotional stability. Energy flows more naturally when this balance exists. In the end, social exhaustion reveals something important about the human mind. Not everyone processes the world in the same way. Some minds are built for constant interaction. Others are designed for observation and reflection. Both forms of intelligence shape how we connect with others. So if you often feel drained after socializing, you're not alone. Your brain may simply be wired for deeper awareness. You notice more, think more, and feel more during interactions. And while that sensitivity consumes energy, it also brings insight. Sometimes the quiet mind sees what the loud room cannot.